This is not your average guy or gal out there who's running through a mortgage form as fast as they can.
Virginia race also getting a lot of attention because of the debate. We are going to take you right into this Allison Spanberger, whatever. I said Abigail, didn't I?
I think you said Allison. But I think it's the same
whatever.
person.
I actually didn't mean to do that, but it's the same. The point is nobody knows.
Spanberger is her last name. You got that part right.
I got that part right. The whole thing is, who are you voting for? I don't know. She's a Democrat. She's a woman. What does she stand for? Nobody really knows. And that's the whole game. Well, they tried that on the debate stage, and it didn't work out well for her. One of the worst debate performances I've seen in a, very long time. Not quite Joe Biden level debate performance, but pretty terrible. So we will play some of the lowlights of that for you, and I am looking forward to it. Also, our friend Jack Carr, former Navy SEAL, author of the Terminal List series, and he's got the series on Amazon right now, Black Wolf. It's awesome. It's doing great stuff. It's actually worth watching, everybody, unlike a lot of stuff you see on the streaming services. So we'll talk to him. But Clay, oh my, right after we got off the show yesterday, the news came out that New York State's Attorney General, Letitia James, has been indicted for mortgage fraud. Here is what she has to say about this. Clip 13, hit it.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
Clay, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm sure you will too. I want to start with this one. The charges aren't baseless. I mean, you could say a lot about it. And I actually believe that some of these laws, and specifically mortgage fraud, unless it's systematic and intentional and over a large, I mean, the mortgage fraud laws need to be reformed. I will say that. But that doesn't change the fact that she's an attorney general, put other people in prison for mortgage fraud, had no problem with it, used statutes in ways they never had been used before to try to bankrupt Donald Trump. But let's just look at it this way. Clay, she broke the law based on the allegations. Unless the facts are in dispute here, which they don't seem to be, she broke the law.
Well, I would go back to the same thing I said when James Comey was indicted. This was a grand jury. This was a grand jury in a Northern Virginia, I believe Alexandria as well, courtroom. So what I would ask Letitia James, if she were on the radio with us right now, we played that clip, is why did the grand jury get it wrong? Because you can say, oh, Trump is going after his political adversaries, but it requires that a grand jury agree that there is a legitimate basis for these charges to be brought. And that is not a grand jury of your or mine peers, Buck. This is not where I live in Nashville, Tennessee area. This is not where you live in the Miami, Florida area. This is among the best possible grand jury pools that Letitia James could have. They probably voted as a group 70-30 Biden, 70-30 Kamala, and they are looking at all this evidence and they are saying, we think Letitia James broke the law. I will say this. It's another one we got right. This is not a very complicated case because everybody has to fill out these forms. And if you are a lawyer and you are in charge of enforcing the law in one of the biggest states in the country, I think a lot of people out there do not give you the benefit of the doubt if there are parts of the mortgage application that are wrong, that are favorable to you. This is not your average guy or gal out there who's running through a mortgage form as fast as they can. When you pass a bar exam and when you are charged with enforcing the law for, again, one of the biggest states in the country, I think that you have a higher standard of expecting to understand what you are filling out when it comes to mortgages. And so I think that she's in a tough spot. And of course, this is a delicious irony, as it were, because She went after Trump for alleged fraud when it came to the loan proceedings that he was able to get relating to his assets and the loans that he had repaid. And so this is based on a property that she owns in Virginia that evidently she has lied about what it's being used for.
Well, yeah, she said that she had 2 primary residences, and the word primary is a problem for her there. Everybody
Yes.
knows what that means. You can't have 2 primary residences. And Clay, beyond that, so there's the facts of this, which are very straightforward. And I'm sorry, but if you're the Attorney General of New York, to Clay's point, you should understand the law really better than anybody and should be held to a standard that you've held everyday Americans to. It's a very straightforward question. Have people gone to prison for mortgage fraud like this in New York State with Tish James overseeing the prosecutorial offices that do this? Because it's all federal. The answer is yes. So if somebody can go to prison for this, she can go to prison for this. And people might say, oh, that's harsh. Well, to that I say it is harsh, but either the elites, and that includes prosecutors, live under the laws they use against us, or we are in a tyranny, my friends. The law either applies to everyone or should apply to no one. And by the way, here she is. This is cut 14.
Yeah.
Making that very point, Clay. Play it.
The president of these United States is not above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
She said everyone has to play by the same rules. Looks like she broke the rules. According to this grand jury, she certainly did. I mean, Clay, also, if she didn't do this, this wouldn't be where it is. This is a very straightforward crime. This is, in fact, the crime that they try to get the corrupt congressman in the show The Wire on, and they call it, at that time, the, quote, headshot, because you can go away for years based on mortgage fraud.
Yeah, she's facing up to 30 years in prison. Now, again,
which
those
is
are
insane.
expensive.
Which is insane. And we can all, by the way, we can all agree that's insane. But change the laws, everybody. Some of these federal laws are absurd. It should only be, multiple accounts, systemic, essentially a RICO situation. Like if you did this 50 times, okay, yeah, you should face maybe 30 years. I know she'll only probably get, if she's found guilty, 6 months or something. But again, James Comey, we're seeing a pattern here. Comey sent Martha Stewart to prison for a little fib that didn't matter. Comey told a little fib too. Guess what?
More significantly, too, I don't know how she remains the New York Attorney General. If you are the chief law enforcement officer of a state and you are facing felony charges, I don't understand how you remain in that position. And she's benefited because she's in a blue state, but there have been disbarment proceedings brought against Trump-related officials who have law degrees for far less than felony mortgage charges. So my question would be for everybody out there listening on WOR and all over the state of New York, and this would be a question that I think Kathy Hochul should have to answer. How can you have a chief law enforcement officer of the state of New York who is under federal indictment for mortgage fraud executing the office of New York Attorney General? Because look, Buck, she's prosecuting people right now for the crime that she has been indicted for in Virginia. I can't even imagine, for those of you who are parents and grandparents, can you even comprehend what it would be like to have Hamas holding your kids or your grandkids hostage for the past 2 years? And God willing, on Monday, those surviving hostages are finally going to be brought back home. And that's due to the work of President Trump. That's due to the work of a lot of really good people, Christians, Jews, people of good faith all over the country. And we're so proud to be a part of that with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. They do incredible work. They show the world that Israel is not alone. The fellowship between Christians and Jews is stronger in many ways than it ever has been before. You can join that fellowship and the Flags of Fellowship movement at ifcj.org. That is ifcj.org. It's a phenomenal time. Thanks to President Trump. Thanks to Benjamin Netanyahu and all of the good Christians and Jews in the world out there standing on the side of good. Join the side of good. Fight back against evil at ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And be sure to hit that like button.